Hi friends, Angelica here, and I am super excited to be joining the Greetery YouTube channel today. The new Nouveau Notes collection will be in the Greetery shop tomorrow, and if you're like me, you're going to love what you're about to see. Those who follow me know I love to give out stationery sets. I make plenty of boxes. Some I've found here on YouTube and some I've made on my own. I came up with a concept a while back that I thought could easily be made into a die, and I shared my idea with Betsy. She loved it and she made it happen. So the time is here and I get to introduce you to the box, how to put it together, and a few new items in the shop that will be perfect accessories for the box. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at the die set. This is the Stationery Box Die. It has three pieces to it, a large base die, a flap, and a half dotted stitched circle. I'm going to cut the dies apart and then die cut white cardstock to make two boxes. We're going to make two boxes today. Once the cardstock is die cut, I'm going to decorate the base and the flap off screen before moving on to the assembling. I'll be using the new handmade label stamp set to decorate the first box and the background painterly stripes background stamp to decorate the second box. Now that everything is stamped and colored, it's time for assembling. I'm going to start by using that half circle. I'm going to put it at the top of the panel that I want to be my front panel of the box, tape it down, and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. This half circle is going to cut an opening so the recipient can see a peek of the cards that they're receiving, and it also makes it easier to get the cards out of the box. The next step is to add adhesive to the tabs. The die cuts tabs, and these tabs are what is going to connect the pieces together. The die is also going to score lines so you can fold the sides and bottom in, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm scoring those lines, and don't forget about those little bottom flaps that are going to be tucked inside. I used my fingers to fold the lines, but you can definitely use your bone folder to really crease the cardstock. And talking about cardstock, I'm using Nina Solar White 110-pound cardstock. Right now would be where I would normally add a small magnetic disc to the inside of the front panel, but I completely forgot to do that. I'm going to fix that in a moment, but it's easiest to do that now. Just a quick note on that. Before assembling the box. Magnetic discs are great to use for closures of the top flap, and there's going to be basic grade magnetic discs available in Friday's release, so you'll be able to get them in the Greetery shop. They're really strong, so I definitely recommend using a heavyweight cardstock when you're using them. You can see I'm definitely taking my time attaching the box together, making sure that the edges match up perfectly. I had a bit of a time with this first box, and you're going to see me struggle a little bit. I ended up bringing in some glue to add to the adhesive. I use art glitter glue. I've used it for years. I absolutely love it. The glue is really thin, so it doesn't warp the cardstock, and it gives me time to move the paper around into perfect position. Score tape is really strong, and as soon as you touch the paper to the adhesive, that's pretty much it. If you try to pull the paper back off the adhesive, it's going to rip. So that glue just really gives me a little bit of wiggle room. I finally did get the tabs in correct position and just push the edges down to make sure that the adhesive is set in well. The bottom closure is really easy. I'm taking the adhesive backing off, and then I'm going to add glue to the flaps. The flaps are what are going to go inside first, and then the tab with the adhesive goes in next, and then I'm going to close the bottom up with the last tab. And to really make sure that that adhesive is good and secure, I'm going to use a ruler to just push those papers together. I'm going to attach the magnet here before moving on to the flap. The discs come with adhesive already on them, but I do like to add a little bit more score tape to them for some extra strength. I'm prepping the magnet right now, and then I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Zero Center ruler to place that magnet in the center of the box, right under the opening. It's important to have that inside magnet in the center because the outside magnet will probably be exposed and it just doesn't quite look right if it's off-centered. So the reverse tweezers and the ruler really help me out here. Now for the flap, I'm just going to slide the tab into the inside of the box. I've already taken the adhesive backing off. I'm going to keep the first folded line of the flap aligned with the top of the box, and I'll again push down on the tab to make sure that the adhesive has a good grip on the box. Moving on to the second magnet, I'm going to make sure that I picked the right one before I attach it. There's 10 positive and 10 negative magnets in the basic gray package. Once I'm sure I have the right magnet, I'm going to take the adhesive backing off and add some score tape. I have my reverse tweezers again, and I'm going to make sure that I have my flap closed in correct position. If it's at all crooked when I add the magnet, it's going to stay crooked. The magnet is going to immediately snap onto the other magnet. Then I'm going to reinforce the adhesive by, just pressing it into the paper. And the first box is now done. The second box I'm going to make is going to be a smaller one. It's going to be for 4-inch square note cards. I've already stamped the cardstock, and you can see I stamped the lines lower on one panel. This is going to be the front of my box, and I want those lines to be on the bottom of the box. Now, to make this box shorter, I'm going to use my paper trimmer to cut the panels down to 4 1/8, and I'm going to be measuring from the bottom score line up. Once the panels are cut, I'm going to again die cut the half circle opening and then put the box together like I did with the first box. I'm adding adhesive to the tabs, and then I'm going to trim the top tabs at an angle since when I cut the panels on my trimmer, it did take that angle off of the tab. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to fold the scored lines, and this time I am going to remember to add the magnet before I put the box together. So you're going to see how much easier this is going to be when you do it before assembling the box. The label that I stamped on the back panel is from the new handmade label stamp set. There's 4 different stamps in that set that is perfect to stamp on the back of your cards or on the back of this box. That just lets the recipient know that it was handmade with love. I'm using my ruler and reverse tweezers again to add that magnet. And then putting the box together this time, you can see I did not struggle nearly half as much as I did with the first box. This one came together so much more easier. There are 2 new note card die sets that are in this release, the Deco note card die and crimped note card die. These make the perfect square cards to put inside this size box. And there's also 4-inch square envelopes that will be in the Greetery shop that coordinate perfectly with the note cards. So that's why I picked the 4 1/8 size for this box. The flap for this box I decorated with the new floral delicacy stamp set, and I also used that stamp set for the note cards that I made for this box. I added a bit more contrast to the flowers and leaves with some Copic markers. I love this floral image, and it just fits perfectly on the flap. Since the floral image was stamped on the front of the flap, I'm going to put the second magnet inside. To do this, I'm going to expose the adhesive and add the magnet to the box, letting the magnet snap together. And I'm making sure that the adhesive is side up. That is very important. Since the magnets are now stuck together, I need to fill the box up so I can push that flap down and secure the adhesive. So I put some envelopes in it first, but that wasn't enough. So I put a few note card bases in it too. This way I was able to push down and not bend anything. I had a little bit of a battle with the tabs. The box is snug and the tabs might have a hard time maneuvering around the envelopes. Now, after battling with a few boxes, I found that what worked best for me is softly tapping the box at an angle and letting the cards and envelopes slide down to that side. Halfway close the flap and then slide the opposite tab inside the box. And then tip the box to the other side, tap again so the envelopes and cards move to the other side, and then you can slide the other tab in. This is it's super easy and quick, and then the tabs stay in good shape. My last step for the box is adding some pattern paper inside to hide the flap tab. This is not a necessary step. I just like the way that extra pop of color looks inside the box, and it hides that tab and gives it a nice clean look. And that's going to finish the box. I made several boxes in different sizes. I almost used up all the magnets in my package. They're super fun to make, and now I have some ready to go as gifts. I even made a second gray box. This time I added a hot foil top using the new Deco Triangles hot foil plate. I also used the plate to make 6 coordinating cards to add to the box, which you're going to see in the pictures coming up. Now, be sure to stop by the Greetery blog for full details and measurements on each item, including new envelopes and designer pins that will be in the shop tomorrow. There's also a blog hop happening with lots of designer ideas and inspiration and a giveaway to enter. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. And I also want to thank Betsy for letting this concept become a reality. I'm just so thrilled that this die is here and it's available for all of you, and it's right in time for the holiday season. Perfect to make handmade gifts. That's all that I have for today. If you liked what you saw, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more, be sure to subscribe for upcoming projects from the Greetery. Thanks again for stopping by. Take care, friends.